What is up, people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Arsenal match reaction here on the Cup Chasers podcast. Of course, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Let's go get the likes up for another Arsenal victory, 3-1 at the G-Tech today. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And let me know in the comments what you're thinking, what you're feeling about this one. All right, let's get right into it. Interesting lineup, I thought, when it first came out. The biggest things to note, no Kai Havertz. I'm not sure. They didn't even say in the game what that was about. But I did think it was a big chance for Nwaneri to come in and prove what he can do and maybe take a hold of the right-hand side and prove that perhaps he should start in the next one. So also I thought that the change at left back was interesting. My first reaction, first thought about it was that he wanted more steel in the midfield as Brentford switched to their traditional 5-4-1 as opposed to the having Mbeumo on the wing like they did versus Bournemouth, versus Brighton. Whatever the last game that I watched of theirs, Brian Mbeumo was a lot more wide, and they had three forwards with Shada and Wissa. But today it was the 3-4-1-2 rather, with the both Wissa and Mbeumo kind of in the center, and so with Calafiori inverting and Partey in there in the center. I thought that was the point, to have more steel. Of course, Marino started as well, so the point was to have more steel in there because Brentford were sacrificing the width so that they could clog up the middle. And that's actually was my second note, was that Brentford are definitely clogging up the middle, getting all four of their midfielders into the center, especially when they were deeper in their when they were sitting back deeper. I thought that Damsgaard and Norgard and yes, it was Janelt, actually, they were all staying really narrow, trying to keep us on the outsides. And so I think that that was the reason Mikel Arteta started this way, because he kind of anticipated that that would be how the game would go. And so he was looking for steel in the middle instead of giving the start to Lewis Skelly, which was what a lot of people thought would happen. With this game plan, I knew that we would have to win the second balls. And in that first 10 minutes, I thought that we definitely dominated possession, definitely dominated the second chances. We're winning the second balls. We're winning the midfield. I like that on both wings. The very first time Martinelli gets the ball, he goes at his man. And the very first time that Nwaneri got the ball, he went at his man. Even did that the second time as well. So that was good to see. But then, like 11 minutes in, is this Fulham all over again? Like, what exactly? I'm thinking, oh man, here we go. Because one pass, you can tell that teams saw Fulham and saw Everton and were like, that is the formula to deal with Arsenal. So they sit back and they battle in the midfield. They keep it narrow. They keep us to the outsides. And then one ball around the side, one ball over the top, round the side, one long ball, skip the midfielders, skip Partey, skip it was Marino, skip Martinelli, and get the ball 1v1 against one of our fullbacks. And while I don't necessarily say that it's all Calafiori's fault, because of course Martin Odegaard passes right to Damsgaard. Here you go, have the ball. Thanks for that. And one ball down the line for Mbeumo, and he's 1v1. We don't get close enough, and he's dangerous. Leading goal scorer on their team. You got to get close to the man, but he gets a good finish. Can David Raya do better? I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks like he cheated a little bit and wanted to go to the right, wanted to go to the far post. For me, yeah, maybe he should do a little bit better. Stay at home for another half a second and see, I think he could do a little bit better and not get beat on this near post. I think David Raya himself will feel a little bit mad at himself for that one. But I thought that even though I got upset when we were down 1-0 and there was no urgency on the goal kicks and the throw-ins and the corner kick, that is infuriating that they do that. But it was an exhibition of patience. It was an exhibition of, we'll stay calm. We'll continue to do what we do. It doesn't matter that we're down 1-0. It's still early. We'll play our game. And I thought that for the 10 minutes after their goal, we did nothing at all. Then for the next 10 to 15 minutes, we didn't do anything. I thought that my first impression of it was that we were a little bit shook, but after I've had a second to think about it, it was good that we didn't panic at all, and we kind of kept them in front of us like we did for most of the game, and did not because we could have gone down 2-0. David Raya with some heart and mouth stuff. Just if that goes in, he's pissed. He's so mad at himself with for the ball coming right at him, and he tries to catch it, but then it goes over his head. He would have been so mad if he doesn't get back to save that. He would have been so pissed at himself, as would have the rest of us. And I think that in that period before that play, I have a note here about Jesus coming really, really deep. Odegaard was coming really, really deep. And before Jesus scored our goal, not a minute later after Raya's mishap, my note was that he hadn't done anything that strikers do in this game. He wasn't taking up positions that number 9s take up. He wasn't, getting in there. But then as soon as I had that thought and made that note, Jesus is kind of like, hold my beer, because he pops up. Right time, right place, right where you need to be as a forward when the ball is bouncing around, when there's a half shot, when it's scrappy. I thought that the 3 challenges before Jesus's diving header, scrappy goal we did well to continue to battle with the ball, kind of bouncing around in there. I thought that it was really good to see. And I was even a little bit upset that after that, we didn't have as much urgency. But I thought that, again, it's obviously coming from Arteta and his game management style, and it's good that they didn't panic. Maybe I'm a bit reactionary, but I really kind of want to see that. I know I've spoken about that before. I would love to see more urgency, more awareness kind of the fact that, hey, it's do or die. Every single game is a must. And so I really would like to see a bit more urgency but that's not Arteta's style. I understand the game management stuff. I thought that, he definitely got it right today. Obviously with the way things worked out, I thought I enjoyed his subs. I didn't mind his subs. I thought it was good, especially with the as thin as the squad is. I thought that Mikel Arteta did just fine today. But there were times I thought that they were playing through our press pretty easy. They were getting that ball where one guy presses, Jesus was pressing Flecken, and then they would have somebody check. And because Roerslev was so far pushed up on the right, Martinelli was so far back, they were able to have Collins wide open when he's played it to past Jesus to Damsgaard to hit it to the side. And then I thought that was breaking our press really easily. But Brentford didn't really do that enough. I thought they didn't really try to play through the press like that enough. And so it didn't really hurt us. I thought that, at 1-1 before, in most of that first half, that Marino was a passenger. I did think he improved as the game went on. Obviously, when he gets his goal, it looked like he was boosted by that, and he was running around a bit more, getting into good spaces, getting on the ball. So I thought that he was not as bad as we've seen him. So that's, I still don't think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I think that he's definitely improving a little tiny bit game to game. And so you can't be mad at it today. He definitely gets his goal. So that's good to see. there were periods though where we didn't in that first half try to play it out from the back. I think we did it better in the second half. Hopefully Arteta, or maybe Arteta said something to him. It's like, hey guys, why are we booting it long so often? Yes, Jesus has had some success in recent weeks with the aerial duels. I definitely noted it in the Crystal Palace game and in the next game as well. But he's still not huge. He's still not Havertz. He's still short. He's still not going to wrestle Nathan Collins to beat him on the header. So I wasn't happy to see that. For a minute there, we were just booting it, and we weren't really trying to play our game. And then, of course, Jesus in the right time, right place, right time for the goal. I did make a note about our fullbacks. Both Timber and Calafiori were not getting close enough. Now, it's something that I've been critical of Ben White for doing, but now that I've seen both of them, maybe the coaching staff are telling the fullbacks when you're 1v1 on the wing to not get super tight. Maybe that's what it is, because I've seen it from more than one of our fullbacks, and there are times where I've screamed at the top of my lungs because Ben White is not close enough to his man in the past. And today I thought there was a couple of moments where Timber wasn't getting close enough, and also obviously Calafiori not close enough on the Mbumo goal. I thought at halftime, my note is it was a tough fight. We were winning lots of second balls. Thomas Partey was fantastic today, both in that first half and in the second half. I do have a note that we needed to combine on the wings to get in behind their fullbacks a bit more. And as far as the tactics go, it was an interesting game because tactically it was kind of a stalemate. I didn't think we were doing, the things that we know we need to do, getting in behind their outside backs enough. But because we came out in the second half with energy and were able to score 2 rapid fire goals with some clinical, moments. I would say Martinelli's obviously more clinical. Marino's was more of a scramble. They were both scrambles, but the Martinelli goal was much needed. Very, very important, I think, for him and his confidence. You can tell after that he was willing to make the run. Literally every time Raya caught the ball or scooped up the ball, blocked the pass, whatever, had the ball in his possession, Martinelli put his head down and just took off, sprinted for the byline, for the opposite line, and he was nearly in like 3 different times, which obviously is a tactic that they've been told. Martinelli's been told to do. Good one from the coaching staff. Good pick out from Arteta. No, it didn't come off, but you could see that it was there to be had. And I think that once we score the goals and we're up 3-1, it was going to be the Arteta game management, keep them in front of you style. It's a professional, way to approach the rest of the half. Just like when we're 1-0 up against Ipswich, kind of keeping them at arm's bay. We don't need to exert a ridiculous amount of energy to, put 7 goals past them. I understand it. Yes, I would love to see goal after goal after goal after goal after goal. But I think that's more of when it's only 1 goal, when it's only up 1-0, I really want to see, not drop off at a 1-goal lead, have more of a impetus to get forward and to secure a 2-goal lead. So once we have the 2-goal lead, I was not unhappy with the way we approached the rest of the game. Just keep them in front of us, make them break us down. They're not going to be able to do that very well. They hadn't really done it all game. Their success came when there was space and they were able to break instead of, playing through us a whole bunch and creating and combining, getting it wide. And they had a couple of crosses. Like I said, that was what made me note that we need to get closer Timber needs to get closer. Calafiore needs to get closer on the fullbacks. But, other than that, I didn't think they offered much. And I feel like, of course, Arteta and the management knows that that's going to happen. And so the game plan after we're up 3-1 is just keep them in front of us, manage the game. Don't really let them do anything. Don't let them get in behind us, and we'll get out of here with 3 points, which I thought we did that extremely well. That's why I've got professional performance down there underneath me on the ticker. I thought Ethan Nwaneri did well. Did he light it up? No. I do enjoy his energy, his verve. When you see him on the ball, you can tell that he wants to make something happen. He's got a little bit of an urgency. He wants to go at his man or find Odegaard for a pass. There was only like one time where he took a couple of touches and passed it back, the Martinelli masterclass, where he doesn't do anything at all. There was only like one time where he did that. All the other times he got on the ball, he was trying to make something happen, trying to find the pass or to beat his man. So I do like to see that. Honestly, who do we got next? Brighton. We're at Brighton. Yeah, why not? Run it back. Let him try it again. I thought he was good. I thought there were moments where Timber and Odegaard were getting around him and we were combining well. And so, yeah, I think give him another shot. I will say though that with all of the injuries and with the personnel available, we finished with a really, really, really weird lineup. A really weird lineup. It was Jorginho, Rice. Rice was in the Odegaard role. Jorginho was in the left 8. Zinchenko was our left forward, with Trossard down the middle and Martinelli on the right. Please God, don't ever start that way. That was weird. It was a weird way to finish, but it was definitely, a professional performance. I think that, my biggest takeaway is that we have to be that clinical when we get those opportunities. Without Saka, it's going to be very important. I'm giving the man of the match to Thomas Partey or Martinelli or Jesus, but Partey for me was the most important man today. I think his work off the ball, breaking up play, winning second balls, making those tackles in the midfield, I thought he did fantastic. I thought when we first saw him that there might be a slight chance that we kind of don't do well against the break. We know that Brentford are good on the counterattack. And so I was a little bit worried, but I thought Thomas Partey had a fantastic performance, was the man of the match. Now, I wanted to say all the positive stuff. Fantastic win. Great to be back in second place, put the pressure on, do what we got to do. I wanted to start with all that. I wanted to do all of that first, get all of that out of the way. It's fantastic to get the win. Awesome 3 points, much needed win. But once again, Martin Odegaard has had another, he just wasn't there. Wasn't great today. Not at his best. He hasn't been at his best in a while. Again, maybe his newborn is keeping him up all night and he's just tired. I don't know. I need to see more from him. We got to see more from him. He has to step up and be way, way bigger, way more influential in games. Without Saka here, he's the guy that we have to look to lead us through this hard period. And in the past 3-4 games now, he's not been great. Not been great at all. And we definitely need to see more. I know he's got it in him. I'm not going to harp on him too much. We did get the win today. And like I say, it was because we were clinical. The goals change games, right? So the fact that we put the goals in and we're able to kind of not necessarily need our game plan to break them down anymore because we had the goals. I don't necessarily like that, that's how the game went. But I'm very happy that once we got to that position, we just, understood, all right, let's just kill this game off and get out of here with these 3 points. We don't want to open ourselves up to any more of what they are good at. And so keeping it tight like that after the goals, I thought was right. I thought they did it well, and it's an awesome 3 points. Absolutely love to see it. I was worried about this one, of course, because it's a crazy, crazy run that we have here in January. And it's Brighton away next. Obviously, not a tough place to go. We got some tough fixtures coming up as well. Newcastle, Manchester United in the FA Cup, and then of course there's Spurs right after that. So definitely good to kick off the year with a win, to kick off this January run with a win, and an impressive one at that. Hopefully we can continue it when we go to the Amex Stadium. So if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Of course, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Let's get the likes up for an Arsenal victory. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Be on the lookout tomorrow night for the whole crew back for our regular Thursday night podcast with the guys. And I'll have another tips and predictions video coming as well. So get the notification bell on, when all that content is coming down the line. Once again, thanks for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.